From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Friday, October 16th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
It's personal. It's a personal mission just to save lives.
Hand washing is an essential part of fighting the coronavirus pandemic. This morning, how a Central Indiana woman's invention is helping provide the necessity to those who need it.
I think next year, unfortunately, we're going to see a lot of foreclosures.
Fallout from the pandemic, thousands of Hoosiers are at risk of being evicted or being foreclosed upon. What can be done to keep a roof over their heads?
I got a phone call from my bank. And I knew it was my bank because I recognized the phone number.
Plus, Hoosiers lose thousands of dollars to bank scams every year. Working for you, we're introducing you to a new tool helping you spot those scams. And it is Friday, and thanks for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. We finally made it through the work week, and Raphael, we know that you haven't really had to go outside yet today, and we're suggesting you just stay in your living room the rest of the day.
I'm going to stay in the official WRTV living room because Todd Clausen tells me so. I'm going to have my cup of cocoa, maybe a cup of coffee, maybe some ramen noodles. I don't know, but I will, if I do go outside, I will take my coat. Right, Todd Clausen?
Yeah, you definitely need to have that coat here, Raphael. And for the first time so far this fall season, on your out-the-door forecast, I'm highlighting maybe the hat and gloves, especially as the kids head off to the bus stop. If you have to wait for a little while for that bus to come, you're probably going to want to have the hat and gloves because temperatures now have dipped down to the 20s in some areas, down to 28 degrees in Peru, 30 in Lafayette, as well as Terre Haute. The temperature actually went up a degree in Indianapolis, but Bloomington, you've dropped now down below freezing, down to 31 degrees there in Bloomington. So it's the coldest morning we've had in a while. Freeze warnings are posted. The good news is the cold front is now well off towards the east. It's taken the clouds with it, which has allowed us to cool down with the clear skies, but it's also going to give us sunshine with clear skies, obviously, once the sun comes up, and that is going to allow the temperatures to warm very, very quickly here across the area. So as we go throughout the day today, it's a sun-filled day. We'll just build in some fair weather clouds later on this afternoon. 52 degrees already by the time we get to the noon hour with high temperatures today. That'll be topping off still below normal in the upper 50s, but with the light winds and the sunshine, Lauren, won't feel all that bad out there later on today.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. This is I-74 near State Road 267. So if you're in Hendricks County and you're heading into Indianapolis over on the west side, you shouldn't have any problems. You can see everything here is really quiet. Of course, we'll continue to keep tracking your roads and your commute this Friday and let you know if there are any trouble spots you need to avoid.
Lauren, this morning here in Johnson County, Whiteland police are investigating an online sale that took a terrifying turn. Police say a teenager was trying to purchase an item through an online sale when a struggle occurred. The suspects were leaving the area when their car hit several objects and stalled. The suspects then took off running. A Good Samaritan attempted to follow the suspects when shots were fired at them. This investigation remains ongoing.
Here at 6:04, Raphael, let's go to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its growing impact in our state. Here's a look at the latest number of cases over the last 9 days. The highest number of cases happening on Thursday with nearly 2,000 new cases of the virus. The number is a new daily record. Since last Wednesday, the Hoosier State has averaged more than 1,600 new cases each day. Health officials say 23 more Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. Since the pandemic began, more than 3,600 Hoosiers have died from COVID-19. And over the last 9 days, the Hoosier State has averaged nearly 17 daily coronavirus deaths. Here in Marion County, new COVID-19 numbers are lower than in some areas of the state now, Raphael.
But Lauren, this morning, there are no plans to ease those COVID restrictions, at least for now. Remember that Marion County is not in the full stage 5 category yet with the rest of our state. Mayor Joe Hogsett and Public Health Director Dr. Virginia Kane say the county will keep the current restrictions in place for the time being. Data shows that Marion County's positivity rate is 5%, which is down from earlier in the year, as you may recall. While changes are not being made for now, Dr. Kane says they will watch the data very closely over the next 2 weeks to determine if new restrictions will be needed.
It's a balancing act with trying to balance from an economic standpoint our businesses versus significant risk to our community where we lose ground in terms of what we're doing. And so we are not going to move back just yet.
The mayor reminds Hoosiers to continue wearing masks and taking other safety precautions. He also explained the county's plans for Halloween. We'll have more on that developing story coming up in the next half hour of Good Morning Indiana.
A Hamilton County woman creating something several years ago to help hospital patients, and WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with how, amid this pandemic, that invention can help anyone, anywhere. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So for most of us, washing our hands comes easy. We've got sinks, we've got running water, and we have the ability to get to that sink to wash our hands. But that's not the case for everyone. And that is why a fisherwoman created this, the Portaire, a portable hand washing station. Angie Washburn created the Portaire in 2017 after a family member contracted the healthcare-acquired infection C. diff while in the hospital. She says for some patients, washing their hands isn't always an option. So she used the passion from her personal experience to create something that she hopes will save lives.
Nothing like that exists. Patients have had trouble in the past getting out of their hospital beds to get to the sink. And we started this mission because of healthcare-acquired infections and the patient need, but then COVID came about, and so we know hand washing is very important. And so this is a way for people to have a kit at their bedside, and they can wash with soap and water on their own or with assistance.
She says since COVID began, they have had more interest from people outside of the healthcare profession. From mothers who may have to change a dirty diaper in the car, to farmers and even delivery drivers. This tool gives them a way to have good hand hygiene on the road.
On top like that.
So all of this collapses and fits here in this bag, and I'll show you how to use it. You just pour water in the top here and you grab this little sheet of soap that comes with it, or you can have your own soap in that bag and you just go under there and it funnels through kind of slowly. That way you have time to wash your hands for that full 20 seconds, and then you just dry it off, and once you're done you can toss this bag right in the trash. For now, I'll send it back to you guys.
What are the repercussions of all of this?
At the end of the day, we're going to get back into the 2008 housing debacle. I mean, it was tough.
This morning, there are growing fears of a potential housing crisis as thousands of people are unable to pay their rent or mortgage as this pandemic continues. And of course, this issue is not just impacting homeowners and renters. It's also crushing many property managers and landlords right here in central Indiana. RE/MAX Realty Services manages about 50 properties for homeowners in the area. Owner Chris Shuloff says that since the CDC issued a national moratorium on evictions last month, some tenants have just stopped paying the rent. Shuloff says he's compassionate with renters and works with them, but the situation is also hurting homeowners and many property owners.
Keep coming to us saying you've got to get that rent collected, and we're going back to them saying because of the moratorium our hands are tied. We do have one tenant that has not lost their job but took advantage of the system or has taken advantage of the system and stopped paying in February.
There are some loopholes in that CDC moratorium, but the Indiana Apartment Association is calling on the government to take more action, possibly by offering loans to landlords. If there is no relief, they fear that landlords will be forced to foreclose on their properties. Lauren?
Raphael, at 6:09 this morning, the Indy Black Chamber of Commerce is working to support business owners during this pandemic as they open a new co-working space here downtown. It's called Chamber 465 and it's located on Market Street. It has all the tools business owners need, like Wi-Fi, printers, and networking opportunities. The Indy Black Chamber will also host classes and workshops at this location. There are sanitizing stations and partitions between the workspaces to help keep people safe.
This is an opportunity for all minority businesses, all businesses, period, to come together to find the resources that they need and the support that they need. Especially during COVID, we're losing so many businesses. They need our support.
Well, the Indy Black Chamber is offering these workstations to business owners for free until the end of the year. If they like it and they want to continue using it, it will be $185 a month starting in 2021.
I guess when you first get married, you don't think there'll ever be these kinds of things that you have to work through together.
Central Indiana opens up to WRTV about the stress and challenges of living with Alzheimer's. Still ahead this morning, how they're coping and how you can as well. But on this Friday, let's check on your weekend forecast with our very own Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning to you. We're getting your Friday off to a very, very cold start as freeze warnings are posted almost all across central Indiana. Just a few counties to our south under frost advisories. That puts temperatures in the 20s now in some locations such as Greencastle and Peru. As we head into the weekend, the chill is going to continue. We'll talk all about it coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back. It is 6:14. Raphael, the Rebound Indiana is focused on helping you get through this pandemic. And we know that social distancing can be especially tough on families who are coping with Alzheimer's.
This morning, WRTV's Amanda Starrentino spoke with a Fishers couple dealing with the diagnosis and the help that's available right here in central Indiana.
I want the zebras.
Oh, you always go for the zebras.
Piecing together the life they have shared. After 50 years of marriage, you learn a thing or two.
Magic words, yes, dear.
Now Marcia and Terry Howell are putting together an entirely new puzzle presented to them.
I guess when you first get married, you don't think there'll ever be these kinds of things that you have to work through together. And so you don't anticipate that you need to be such a strong partner.
Shortly after retiring 5 years ago, Marcia noticed something different about her husband.
I started recognizing the changes in the cognition. But everybody just kept telling me, you know, it's the normal aging, and I kept saying, I don't think it is.
With no family history, Terry was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia.
There are times when if I were her, I probably wouldn't be very happy. Because she never belittles, she never lets me know that she must be frustrated.
While Marcia has remained positive, the process is not easy.
There have been some times that I've had just total meltdowns. And it's those times that I have really needed the assistance of somebody else to talk to and just to say, help me through this.
The extra hand she needed came from a call to the Alzheimer's Association Greater Indiana chapter.
They will help you the way no one else does. He started doing the hallucinations and things like that, and it was to a point where that just was beyond anything I had ever dealt with. And so when I reached out for help, all of a sudden it was like, I'm not alone.
For Marcia, it broke down barriers she was dealing with, and it opened resources to help her and Terry cope and move forward together.
The earlier that we can get a diagnosis of any type of dementia, be it Alzheimer's, be it Lewy body, whatever it is, I can't say better the prognosis because we don't have a cure for these diseases yet, but the better quality of life and the more involved the individual with the diagnosis can be in planning that quality of life.
The organization offers resources for Indiana families navigating the early stages of Alzheimer's and dementia.
Trying to figure out when the behavior is, and is this my normally, or is this something else I need to pay more attention to? So more on the unknown.
For Terry, it gives him a community of people that understand what he is going through, and Marcia can connect with caregivers who are also partners. It's an abundance of resources available to help Hoosier families on what is a difficult journey to not walk it alone.
You can make it what you want it to be, and if you want to make it contentious and you want to make it something that everybody is fearful of or is afraid of, you can do that. But it's so much better to celebrate it. Celebrate what they're becoming now and go through it as a family together.
Wow, thank you for sharing your love and your courage with all of us. That was Amanda Sorrentino reporting. The Alzheimer's Association of Greater Indiana chapter is offering a free virtual resource fair today. That's from noon to 4:30. You can learn more by downloading the WRTV app. And while you're there, go ahead and download, of course, the Storm Shield app, because whether you're on the go or whether you're seeing us on television, Todd Clausen will tell you it's going to be a cold one. Hey, Todd.
It is going to be a cold one here at Raphael. And of course, Storm Shield, it's just not all alerts and warnings for you. It gives you temperatures, the forecast, and of course, interactive radar on there as well. If we had rain moving through the area like yesterday, you could use it. As far as today, it's just a frosty start with some very cold temperatures that are out there. The skies will be sunny, though, throughout the day today. And with that sunshine, temperatures will moderate back up into the mid-50s later on this afternoon. But look at these temperatures this morning, below freezing for the first time in many locations here this fall season of 2020. 29 in Greencastle right now, 28 is the current temperature in Peru, 31 in Bloomington, still holding on to 36 degrees here in the city, which usually runs a little bit warmer, and down to freezing now in Greenfield at 32 degrees. We may go down another degree or two in some locations here, since the sunrise is until just before 8 o'clock, and right before sunrise is when we typically on a normal day see our lowest temperatures. But look how quickly we warm once the sun comes up. We'll get the temperatures back up into the mid-50s by the time we get to the noon hour, and then we'll continue to warm from that point forward. Skies are clear. That's one of the reasons why our temperatures are so chilly. We'd probably be about 10 degrees warmer if we still had the cloud cover in place, but that front went through the area yesterday, gave us that much needed rainfall, and we'll continue to have sunny skies throughout most of the day today. Late this afternoon, you may notice a few clouds starting to build in across the area, and there could be a stray shower to the north. So Lafayette, Kokomo, maybe even into the Tipton area over towards Hartford City. Don't be shocked if you see a quick passing sprinkle later on this afternoon, this evening, but the more substantial rainfall is going to stay across parts of Michigan. But if your travels do take you north here this Friday, maybe for a weekend getaway up in Michigan, you will run into some shower activity. But closer to home, it's going to be a nice evening. It's going to be a cool evening. So if you have high school football games you're attending, or just heading out for dinner outside, especially if you're doing the outdoor dining thing, make sure you have a heavier coat on these patios. You'll definitely need it once the sun sets. And then tomorrow morning, we do it all over again. Another freeze warning in place for your Saturday morning. Temperatures maybe a degree or two warmer tomorrow, but still with those temperatures right around freezing, the National Weather Service put out that freeze warning. And then your Saturday forecast features lots of sunshine, partly cloudy skies, a temperature that climbs into the mid-60s. It's a dry day for us. On Sunday, we bring in the chance of some showers late in the day, high temperature of 63 degrees. And then as we work our way into next week, we start to see the temperatures moderate back up into the low 70s by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out the door to start your Friday. Here's a live look up in the dogleg, I-65 and I-865 on the northwest side. A busy spot, as you can see this morning. Those orange barrels that are on the sides of the roads aren't causing any problems or delays this morning. Looks like everything's still traveling up to speed despite being a little bit busier. We'll continue to keep a close eye on any trouble spots for your commute and keep you updated. Raphael?
Lord, we love talking about jobs here at WRTV through our Hiring Hoosiers initiative. And if you're looking for seasonal work, the Postal Service is hiring Hoosiers. A drive-through job fair will be held tomorrow from noon until noon at the post office on West South Street in downtown Indianapolis. Available positions include the automotive technicians, as well as city carrier assistants, rural carrier associates, and mail processing clerks. For more information, go to our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
Well, bank scams drain millions of dollars from American pocketbooks each year. Still ahead, we're helping you learn how to spot those scams so you don't waste your money. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The time right now is 6:24 here on your Friday. Raphael, it is Friday, and there is nothing better than stories of people recovering from COVID-19, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, so here is a good one for you. Her medical team calls her a true fighter. Della Hawthorne, get this, she's a COVID-19 survivor, and she's also 102 years old. Employees of Mercy Hospital, out in Logan County in Guthrie, Oklahoma, lined the halls to cheer Hawthorne on as she was discharged to her family. Hawthorne spent 12 days at the hospital. Glad to see she's going home.
We applaud you from Indianapolis. You go, you go. Hey, another great view of the fall foliage in central Indiana. This picture, a big thank you to Rita Smith. This is a view at Painted Hills in Martinsville in Morgan County. Look at the reflection in the water. Let that soak in. I would love to hang out in that neighborhood with the team, right? We can make some s'mores, just hang out. Rita, we're coming over. Of course, we'll share more of these pictures next week from our Facebook page of all the great fall foliage here in central Indiana. Todd, you can't beat that view.
No, we're getting pretty close to peak conditions here across central Indiana for the leaf viewing, and this weekend's going to be a good one to get out there and check it out with the dry conditions for the most part. Now, if you're heading out this morning, it is cold, one of the coldest mornings we have seen in quite a while. In fact, you have to go all the way back to spring to find temperatures this chilly. 29 in Greencastle, 28 is the current temperature in Peru, 31 in Bloomington to highlight some of the areas that are below freezing, still at 36 degrees in Indianapolis. Highs today will eventually get back to right around 60 degrees with mostly sunny skies in Bloomington as well as Columbus. Northern locations will be in the upper 50s. Our normal high is 65 degrees. So we're just a couple degrees as far as highs go later on today below normal. But with the light winds and the sunshine, it'll feel pretty pleasant. But once the sun sets later on this evening, Lauren, going to get chilly very quickly. So keep that in mind if you have Friday night plans.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, think you could spot a banking scam? Don't be so sure. Lots of people are falling for fake phone calls, texts, and emails that look like they come from your bank. This morning, our John Matarese is putting you to the test so you don't waste your money.
Thousands of banking customers have lost millions of dollars to scams. So now the nation's banks are rolling out a new tool to help you spot a scam. Did you get good grades in school, have a professional job? You could still fall victim to bank fraud, as Sarah Robb did last year.
I got a phone call from my bank, and I knew it was my bank because I recognized the phone number.
24-hour security department.
But it really wasn't her bank. It was a scammer who in minutes drained Sarah's checking account. Just this past month, Corinthia W. fell for a slick email claiming a problem with her account.
$499 was going to be withdrawn from my account.
But it was really a phishing scam, and before she knew it, Corinthia was out $1,600. The American Bankers Association now wants to stop this growing fraud. So next time you get onto your bank's website or check their phone app, look for a little button that says, "Would your bank really ask that?" It'll take you to a quiz, and some of those questions just might stump you. The website, banksneveraskthat.com, tests if you can outsmart online scammers. For instance, would your bank text you, "Your card has been deactivated"? Reply immediately with your PIN? Nope, they never would. Would they call and ask you to verify your birthday and social security number for security reasons? Nope, they never would. Would they text you an access code to verify your identity so you could log in? Yes, the quiz has lots of trick questions, but it'll help you avoid the scams that fooled Sarah, Corinthia, and so many other people.
Said all the right things. She got my information from me.
You'll find this tool on the website of most major banks or go to banksneveraskthat.com so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Friday morning, this is your 6:30 news feed. Police in Whiteland investigating a shooting that happened after an online sale transaction. A struggle took place between the suspects and a teenager who made a purchase. The suspects ran after their car, then they hit several objects and stalled. A Good Samaritan tried to follow the suspects when shots were fired at them. No injuries were reported.
Police in Greenfield are asking for the public's help in finding people who stole Halloween decorations from a home. Police released this security video showing the people who stole a Mickey and Minnie Mouse project from a home near Broadway Street and McKenzie Road that's not far from Greenfield Central High School. Officers say the theft took place in the overnight hours this past Wednesday.
More money is coming to a program that helps families with e-learning and childcare during this pandemic. An additional $88,000 will go to community learning centers created by the organization known as the Mind Trust. The centers are a safe, free option for students who may not have reliable internet access at home or whose parents may not be able to stay home during school hours. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Friday, and of course, Todd and Lauren, fall has finally arrived. It's making its presence known in full force.
Yes, you can finally do all the fall things like the bonfires, bundling up, wearing the scarves, the pumpkin spice lattes, Todd, because it is a chilly Friday for us here.
Yeah, you need the scarf today. Some of you may need the hat and the gloves, and the heavy coat definitely needed this morning because look at some of these temperatures at or below freezing in many locales, not including Indianapolis at 36, but Peru, you're down to 28 degrees this morning. Bloomington, you're at 31, 30, and Terre Haute and Columbus right at 32 degrees. So this is the coldest morning we've seen in many locations in quite a while. The National Weather Service issued the first freeze warning for this fall season yesterday, so this will be in effect until about 9 o'clock. And then we have another one that will go into effect late Saturday, Friday night into Saturday morning. So it's 2 days in a row that we have these freeze warnings that are going to be in effect. The skies are clear, plenty of sunshine once the sun does come up, and with that sunshine, you're going to see temperatures warm very quickly here throughout the course of the morning hours. So we'll jump out of the 30s fairly quickly into the 40s by 10 a.m. We're quickly through the 40s into the 50s by the time we get to the afternoon hours. About 54 degrees by 1 p.m. as we continue into the afternoon hours, though high temperatures eventually get pretty close, Lauren, to 60 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's get a look at traffic right now as you're heading out the door to work or school on this Friday. This is a look downtown at I-65 and I-70 at the South Split. Traffic here is traveling up to speed in all directions. No crashes or issues in downtown Indy to slow down your commute. It is 6:31. Our Democracy 2020 coverage continues. Last night, the candidates for president were supposed to meet for their second debate, but that was canceled after President Trump's COVID diagnosis last week.
And Lauren, instead, the president and his Democratic challenger, Joe Biden, went head-to-head in televised town hall events in different states. Here on WRTV, Mr. Biden took questions from voters in the key swing state of Pennsylvania. He again targeted the president's handling of the pandemic, and he talked about the things he would have done differently from the beginning.
From March on, I stopped doing big meetings. I started wearing masks. So it was at a time when the science was saying, and his key people, Dr. Fauci, were saying, you should be taking these precautions. So what we should be doing now, there should be a national standard.
In a competing town hall on the NBC network, President Trump defended his handling of the pandemic, but he also refused to say whether he was tested for COVID-19 the day of the first debate, as was required by the rules of the debate commission. The president was diagnosed with the virus 2 days after the debate.
The debate commission's rules, it was the honor system, would be that you would come with a negative test. You say you don't know if you got a test on the day of the debate?
I have no problem. Again, the doctors do it. I don't ask them. I test all the time. And
did you take a test, though, on the day of the debate?
You know, if you ask the doctor, they'll give you a perfect answer.
Yeah.
But they take a test, and I leave, and I go about my business.
Did you take a test on the day of the debate, I guess, is the bottom line.
The candidates are scheduled to debate one more time next week in Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, football fields will remain dark tonight at some of Central Indiana's high school stadiums. This after some reports of positive COVID-19 tests. We can tell you Franklin Community High School announced that its varsity football game against Decatur Central High School has been canceled for tonight. The freshman game at Decatur is still scheduled to go on as planned tomorrow. Also, tonight's game between Hamilton Southeastern and Brownsburg has been canceled. In a tweet, Brownsburg said they are looking for an alternate opponent.
A Hamilton County woman's invention helping in the fight against COVID-19. Next, we'll show you her invention and how it can help people stay safe on the go. We thank you for starting your Friday right here on Good Morning, Indiana. Welcome back to Good Morning, Indiana. Indiana, our state, facing an increase in the number of COVID-19 cases. State health officials report 1,962 new cases of the virus. Those numbers from Thursday. And that's the highest daily total reported since the outbreak began back in March. As you can see, every day for the past week, more than 1,000 cases have been reported. As of this morning, 141,212 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. The state's 7-day positivity rate also continues to increase. It now stands at 5.7%. And taking a look at the number of Hoosiers who've lost their lives during this pandemic, state health officials report 23 newly confirmed deaths. And so far, more than 3,600 Hoosiers have died with the virus statewide.
Well, Indiana is remaining at stage 5 of Governor Holcomb's recovery plan despite the increase in cases. But the governor's Democratic challenger in the upcoming election says the state should be rolling back reopening plans. Dr. Woody Myers is also the former state health commissioner. He says allowing each county to craft their own responses to the pandemic shows a lack of leadership at the state level. He says the spike in cases in Indiana means that they need to reimpose some restrictions.
This is further evidence that moving us to stage 5, the most open stage, was wrong. Indiana should immediately return to stage 4 with capacity limits in force in bars and restaurants. And if there's not significant improvement, we move back to number 3.
Well, Myers trails Holcomb in both polling and fundraising for the governor's race. They and Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater are scheduled to hold the first of 2 debates next Monday. And Mayor Joe Hogsett says the current coronavirus restrictions here in Indianapolis will stay in place for now. City leaders say though the cases and hospitalizations are slowly creeping up, they hope tighter restrictions are not required. And as we get closer to Halloween, the mayor and the city's public health director are again discouraging traditional trick-or-treating.
I know that missing out on trick-or-treating and Halloween get-togethers is just another disappointment in a year full of disappointments. But please keep this in mind. These are precautions that you can take to protect your health, the health of your family, and the health of your neighbors, and ultimately the overall health and well-being of our community. And I would suggest that that is worth more than a party or a bag of candy.
Now, because the Marion County Health Department is discouraging trick-or-treating this year, there will not be any set hours for those participating in safe activities.
So, Lauren, I want to tell you about this Hamilton County woman. She had an idea, right? And she turned that idea into an invention which can now keep all of us very healthy. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with the product that has a big purpose. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So I've got a question for you. What are the 3 major tips that health officials gave us when the COVID-19 pandemic started?
Now, can I call a friend? And since Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is debuting on ABC this Sunday, let me see. Lauren would tell me to, of course, wear a mask. Todd would remind me to socially distance, and I think you're going to remind me to wash my hands as often as possible.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So obviously social distancing, that's something that's free. You can easily maintain your distance from other people. Masks, though, you can use pretty much anything to cover your face and use it as a mask. But for hand washing, it's surprising to know that that's not easy for everyone. Some people don't have sinks, some people don't have running water, and other people just don't have the ability to get to a sink to wash their hands. And that's why a Fishers woman created this, the Portaire, a mobile hand washing station.
It's personal. It's a personal mission just to save lives.
Angie Washburn created the Portaire, a portable hand washing station in 2017. The respiratory care practitioner became passionate about patient hand hygiene when a family member died after contracting a healthcare acquired infection.
These are infections that can be acquired when you're in the hospital and then complicate things for you. So it's additional illnesses.
She tells me some infections cannot be addressed with hand sanitizer alone.
You hear staff should wash their hands, but we don't hear a lot about patient hands. And so we're starting to look at patient hands as being those transmitters of disease and illness.
The device created to help patients wash their hands is now something a lot of people could utilize amid the pandemic.
So we're noticing a huge interest for those that serve the homeless population, for them to be able to have a way to wash their hands. Agriculture, we've started discussions with some of those. We've got farm workers who don't have a way to wash their hands when they're out harvesting by hand. And then healthcare, both home care, acute care, and those facilities.
She says now more than ever, we know the importance of hand hygiene, and this small kit can travel anywhere.
We're just on a mission to try to help people wash their hands on a regular basis and stay healthy.
So this kit does collapse and it fits in a bag, and then once you're done washing your hands, that water comes through there. All you have to do is take this bag out, tie it up, and toss it. And she says it does not have to go in biohazard if you're in the hospital. It can just be dumped in the trash because obviously this water's a little bit clean since it does have that soap in it. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. There is a chill in the air, and that means it's time for you to turn on the heat, maybe for the first time this season. But it could also mean that there's some extra work for firefighters out there. So next, we'll have some tips on how you can stay safe while you're trying to stay cozy. Todd.
And I guarantee, Lauren, some of those furnaces kicked on throughout the overnight hours. Look at these temperatures as you wake up on this Friday morning. 29 in Greencastle, 28 in Peru, 32 in Greenfield. Despite the really, really cold start, it turns into a pretty nice day for us across the area. We'll talk about the rest of your Friday and look ahead to your weekend as well, coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. The time right now is 6:45 here on our Friday. We do have breaking news just into the newsroom from the Indianapolis Colts. Just moments ago, the Colts announcing that several people within the organization have tested positive for COVID-19. The Colts releasing a statement saying that they are in the process right now of confirming those tests, and they say they're closing the team's practice facility for now. Now, the team did not say whether it was players or staff members who tested positive, but of course, this is a story we'll follow throughout the day, and we'll keep you updated on WRTV and our mobile app. Well, the time is 6:46, and the first freeze of the season may have led a lot of people to power up space heaters for some extra warmth, Raphael. But we know that improper use of a space heater could trigger some unexpected fires.
So, Lauren, of course, we Zoomed with Bargersville Deputy Fire Chief Mike Pruitt to talk about safety during this season.
Deputy Chief Mike Pruitt with the Bargersville Fire Department. So here we go in Indiana, our first freeze of the season, a cold morning for many of us, and some of us may turn to space heaters. What is your warning this morning?
Space heater should not be anywhere within 3 feet of a combustible. And when I talk about combustibles, that could be furniture, your bed. Everybody likes to throw the newspapers down, have the little basket next to the chair with the magazines and newspapers in that. And they go to sleep and they don't realize that's inside 3 feet. And over time, this is not something we see where it just bursts into flames automatically. It breaks down the materials and eventually catches on fire. So the big thing is 3 feet away, and also keeping that away from children and pets. So if they're high traffic areas, that's the last place we want a space heater.
More people are at home, and more of these things are being connected to every available outlet in our home.
So when we start overloading outlets, or we decide we want to extend that space heater across the room to put it closer to us, maybe we don't have an outlet right there close to us, we'll use extension cords. And the problem is when it starts drawing that energy through this extension cord, they're not designed to handle that, and it will start a fire. So anytime that maybe we'll see people throw carpets over the top of these extension cords, and that heat builds up. And so that's another way to start a fire in your home. So don't use extension cords.
But your goal is to ensure that people do what they need to do safely, so that you don't have to be called.
The important thing to remember about these space heaters is shut them off when they're not in use. Shut them off when you leave the home. Shut them off when you go to bed. Add more blankets, snuggle a little closer. Now that we're all confined to each other, make sure you wear your mask though. But snuggle, stay warm that way instead of leaving these space heaters unattended.
Deputy Chief Mike Pruitt with the Bargersville Fire Department, we thank you for this key piece of information on this morning.
Thank you.
All right, great tips there, Raphael and Mike, as temperatures today are really, really cold out there this morning. This is your 24-hour temperature change, and we are running anywhere from 25 to 32 degrees colder this morning than we were yesterday. That cold front went through with the rain yesterday afternoon, and that ushered in this very, very chilly air mass. And that's also why the National Weather Service issued this freeze warning yesterday for this morning, and they've also issued another one for early Saturday morning. So it's a 2-day stretch here of very cold temperatures, and then we'll kind of get back a little bit closer to what we normally see in the middle of October. But here's where we 29 in Greencastle, 28 in Peru. Greenfield, you're now down below freezing at 30 degrees, right at freezing. Columbus, 32, and Bloomington currently sitting at 31. You can see the warmth is well off to the east now. And temperatures to our west aren't much colder. In fact, they're actually a little bit warmer. But with more of a westerly wind today and the same temperatures off to our west, we're just not really going to warm a whole lot as the day progresses. So today's just one of those days where we'll feature a lot of sunshine. And initially, we see the temperatures warm very, very quickly this morning through the 30s, through the 40s, and then by the noon hour up to 52 degrees. But as we progress throughout the afternoon, we kind of just cap the temperatures in the upper 50s. Maybe a few of you in southern locations will get close to the 60-degree mark later on today, which is going to still be below normal. But honestly, with the sunshine and the light winds that we'll have later on this afternoon, it won't be all that bad. You notice this little band of rain and snow here from southern Wisconsin into portions of Iowa. That will swing through portions of the area as we get into the afternoon hours. It's not going to be any significant rainfall, but thankfully yesterday we got over 1/10 of an inch of rain. So that broke the streak of consecutive days below 1/10 of an inch at 57. So that was a new record for the city of Indianapolis. But here's that little band of rain. So if you're heading to high school football games or you're traveling to the north later on this evening, there could be a quick passing sprinkle, but it's nothing more than that. It's not going to hamper anything if you are going to be outdoors. And for most of the football games across central Indiana this evening, just partly cloudy skies, temperatures falling back down into the 40s. And then tomorrow, here we go, all over again. Temperatures at or below freezing in many locations. Clear sky. Tomorrow, though, with more of a southerly wind, we are able to get back above normal as temperatures will be climbing into the mid-60s for your Saturday. Saturday's probably the better day of the weekend. Sunday's not bad. It just features a little more cloud cover, and late in the day there could be a few showers that sneak in here. The better chance of showers will be on Monday and Tuesday of next week before warmer temperatures return heading into Wednesday and Thursday. The time now is 5:51. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
On this Friday, we are following some breaking news from the Indianapolis Colts. Moments ago, the Colts announced that several people within their organization have tested positive for COVID-19. The Colts released a statement saying that they are in the process of confirming those tests, and they say they're closing the team's practice facility for now. The team is not saying who tested positive. The Colts are set to play the Bengals at home on Sunday. Lauren?
Well, Raphael, it is Friday, so it is time for good news and our favorite segment, Good News Friday. So we want to kick off the morning with some new honors for 3 women who made history right here in Indianapolis.
And these were the only women to play professional baseball in what was known as the old Negro Leagues. And for now, you can collect bobblehead dolls of all 3. Toni Stone, Connie Morgan, and Mamie Peanut Johnson all played for the legendary Indianapolis Clowns back in the 1950s. Toni Stone was the first female player on the team, and she actually replaced home run king Hank Aaron on the Clowns roster when he signed with the Braves back in 1953. The bobbleheads are now available from the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum.
Well, check this out. Beech Grove is the home of the Hornets. We know that. And this is a picture of a stainless steel Hornet that will be installed on the roundabout located at the Churchman Bypass and Arlington Avenue. The installation this morning will take about 2 hours, and this will stand at 35 feet rather, in the air. Go Hornets.
Go Hornets. That's taller than Todd Clawson. Now check out all these bacon slices from a distance. You may think this looks like a breakfast meal, but really it's an adult beverage worthy of praise. Our Todd Clawson knows how to put the bar in bartender. This creation is what keeps him warm on these chilly days. He keeps a blender there in the weather office. All of this is a Bloody Mary, and all it's missing is, of course, is a side of eggs and a side of hash browns. Todd Clawson, you made that. And props to you.
No, I didn't make it.
You just ordered it, right?
I thought you made it.
I ordered it, and the place where I ordered it from, it's a place I go every now and then, more than every now and then. So it was a special creation made just for me. Extra spicy.
Wow.
There's some olives down there somewhere as well with the bacon. So it was.
Take us with you, Todd. Take us with you.
Oh, I'm hungry now.
That was last Sunday morning, but it had to warm me up here. Bloody Mary, if you don't have to work, a Bloody Mary, maybe that's what you want here this morning. To warm you up because it is chilly. We're down below freezing in many locations as we work our way throughout the course of the day today. We get back to 58 degrees with lots of sunshine. Tomorrow's the better day of the weekend simply because it's completely dry. It's warmer at 65 degrees. Sunday's not a bad day. Those showers are pretty late in the day. There's just a little more in the way of cloud cover at 63. But any plans you do have outdoors, you should be in good shape. And then Monday, Tuesday, some spotty showers, a little unsettled to start next work week. But then as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, we are looking at plenty of sunshine and a warming trend back above normal, Lauren, with highs into the 70s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We'll leave you here with a live look at Lucas Oil Stadium on this Friday morning. Of course, that big news just coming down at the end of the hour about several members of the Colts organization testing positive for COVID-19. No word yet again if this is players or staff members. We'll keep you updated throughout the day. Thanks for watching Good Morning Indiana and have a great Friday.